Mark and Steven are trying to escape this asylum. They come to this door. These doors open, and there is a hippo, a talking hippo standing there.
Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers, and welcome to the early morning verse, where we dive into spoilers at nearly 3:30 in the morning after watching Moon Knight episode 4. And wow, you know, I was reading things, Tucker, about this episode beforehand saying, yeah, it's going to get weird, y'all. And that's right.
Yep.
I'm with maybe Cosmic Wonder had said something. He's like, man, it's going to get weird. But it's a good weird, because it's like, wow. It's weird, though. We're going to get more to the weirdness. But this episode, to me, right off the bat, since we're talking spoilers, we're just jumping into it. Mm-hmm. It gave me a really, what do you call it? Like a really big Indiana Jones kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least a, Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of vibe,
Yep.
So, I mean, there's quite a bit to unravel, and we're kind of, we're not going to talk about every single little aspect unless Tucker wants to. But
Okay.
I think the episode was great overall. I think it was fun. There's definitely character development. And it's just, there's just a lot to, and we find out some more things that are interesting about Mark Spector. Some things maybe that Layla is now finding out that she did not know before they were married. So it gets interesting. But Tucker, I mean, what'd you think, man?
My first response is literally what you texted me when I texted you. Is like, dude, and it's hi. Not even the fact that the hippo, Egyptian god, whatever, says hi. It's the voice is so like soft and kind of puny, just like hi. But no, man, this episode is weird. It's dark. It's bloody in a respectful sense within Disney's bloody boundaries, not Netflix boundaries, but the Disney Plus boundaries. It definitely had that Indiana Jones feel. That's what I was thinking so much. It had a lot of character development, and Arthur still creeps me out so bad. Even though you're like, it's like you think he's trying to be a good guy, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot you." But
I'm gonna shoot you.
One thing I really love the relationship with Layla and Steven.
Yeah,
it's really cool seeing those two really grow closer together. But really, I know Mark loves her. It's just he's trying to protect her, and he's also probably afraid of the truth, which got revealed, and probably wasn't like he's like, let's not do this right now. But the truth is, it's those moments in movies never play out in the best time that you want it to. It's just like it's always dealt with right then.
Right.
But overall, like this episode was crazy, especially that ending, which I don't know if we probably want to jump there in a little bit, but like that, the ending, I was like, what am I watching? We guess our thoughts on it, but what do you think of the first half kind of building up to all of that?
Yeah. It's what Mark, Torsby. Now we know from the ending of episode 3, Khonshu turns back the sky so that the stars align, the constellation aligns, so that way they have a map or at least some idea of where the tomb is. And so once Khonshu turns back the sky at the end of episode 3, he's in prison because he's breaking the law of physics. He's obviously the other gods are going to take action and say, yeah, you can't be doing this. So they put him away. They turn him to stone, like a little stone, what's called trinket.
Yeah.
So then now we see, first off, Layla, man, she had that flare. She, showing her action star.
Dude, that's the new MCU weapon, along with the cupcakes, which we see that same cupcake later on.
Oh, really?
We do. I saw it. I noticed it. I was like, what? But the next MCU
I didn't even
weapon,
catch that
flare.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the flare, yeah, she uses a flare and she blows up a truck with a machine gun loaded on the back. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so now we see Steven is in control and Layla. So they are now they're without Conchu. They don't have his assistance. And Mark even says that he's like, there's going to be no suit, no powers, no Conchu. It's all us. So we got to, get our heads on straight. We got to get this, we got to find this tomb.
Which is what we kind of predicted in our other episodes.
Yeah, exactly. It's so it was interesting to see that. It's now time to see Mark and Steven having to work together even more now that they don't have that Moon Knight bond, which I think people may be somewhat a little bit disappointed because it's the show Moon Knight. So there's no Moon Knight in this episode. Short answer is no. There's no Moon Knight, but there's going to be some. It was a great build up, I think, to the next episode, especially with the ending scene. I pulled up some stuff on that we can definitely talk about later. But yeah, just starting off, cool action. Really, really got the Indiana Jones vibe. Something I don't think we've really seen in the MCU to this point. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of cool to see that aspect of the MCU is it plays on tropes and it likes to kind of touch in different areas and all of that. So seeing the Indiana Jones temple or tomb discovery, ancient Egypt, I think that's really neat. So that episode I think starts off really strong and it continues pretty strong. I mean, what'd you think, Tucker?
Man, I mean, definitely made me think a lot more about flare guns or flare sticks or whatever you want to call them. As a new weapon. Yeah, I love the Indiana Jones aspect. We see that Steven and Layla, they kiss for the first time, kind of showing their relationships growing closer. And it really did play out that Steven stayed in he was in control because like a lot of the things inside with all the writings and everything, he was able to kind of he knew what they meant. And dude, whenever that old, I don't know, so that old Egyptian like corpse that was like trying to, I guess, feed off of humans. He was like, that's where it kind of got a little dark. Not dark, but in a sense of Disney, it's definitely, you don't see that much. You don't see a whole lot of blood, and there's a lot of sound effects of the body getting cut open. And you mentioned a word. What was it? An old ancient Egyptian practice?
Yeah. So it was basically the practice of disemboweling. And then you would stuff the body. You would preserve the body and stuff it. So obviously you would remove all the intestines and all the organs, and then you would stuff the body with different materials to make sure the actual physical body would be preserved once it was mummified. It was mummification. So that was kind of, I thought that was a little bit out of left field for Disney to be showing something like that. Not that you're right, it wasn't just full on gore. Yeah. But yeah, it was a little, I mean, you could hear the squelching and all that, and you could also see a little bit of that. And I was like, that's pretty, it's kind of a
yeah. Do you think he was there as more of just like a guardian, like protecting?
Yeah. I think it was going back to the Indiana Jones movie trope, whether you watch Indiana Jones or any adventure movie where there's a temple and there's something valuable in the temple, there's always these like gatekeepers or these watchers, right? These or maybe the natives or the locals that try to keep the outside world from getting in. So that's probably my theory on that. I personally have not done a lot of, I mean, maybe some of our listeners and viewers may know the backstory in the comic books about this certain guy. He was just when y'all watch the episode, if you have already watched the episode, you'll have to let us know who that guy really is. Because I have not done research into it myself, but I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, that's a good way to explain it. He was kind of guarding or safekeeping, letting no one pass to get to the valuables or the goods. So you have that trope. So that was pretty interesting. I'm actually trying to look it up right now, but
yeah.
anyway.
I mean, the big reveal that we've been teased also with Arthur knowing what happened with Layla's father, and that finally getting revealed, which, I knew she wasn't going to die, but she kept getting taken back by that corpse or whatever.
Yeah.
Like multiple times. I was like, man, but like some of the camera angles and some of the movements of what they did, like whenever they both fell off the cliff down into the giant pit. But yeah, it's always those moments where you think someone falls, but yet they're hanging on. And she's a tough character. I mean, her dad would be proud of her. I know there's more to the story. Like Arthur's making it seem like Mark's just this horrible guy. And Mark, although it was a horrible event, it seems like a mercenary event to take out. And then one of his buddies got greedy and killed everyone there. And, so I feel like there needs to be more explanation of that, which I'm sure will come in the next episode.
Yeah. That's a great, that's one point, right? We talk about understanding who Mark is, his backstory, and specifically Layla's father, who again was a famous archaeologist in the comics. Now it translates over into the TV series. And though they go by different names, the characters do, it's still the same relationship. So then we keep hearing about this archaeology obsessed father and his passion for excavation and all this stuff. And so now, because we wonder, like, okay, what really happened with her dad? Well, what happened? And then we do get a kind of a tidbit of Layla having a confrontation with Arthur Harrow after she faces off against the Egyptian demon guy. I don't know what to call him, but
he's hungry.
He's hungry, yeah. And so then Arthur Harrow is kind of trying to reveal more about Mark. But again, that's another trope. It's like, one of the supporting characters comes into contact with the main villain, and the main villain is trying to persuade or even brainwash the supporting character to the main protagonist. Hey, this person is not who you think they are. They're withholding secrets from you. They're withholding things from you. They can't be trusted. All that sort of thing. So I think it's really interesting that they've gone that route. And specifically when you think about Mark's response to Layla, he actually does not flat out deny that he at least was part or in the situation that ended tragically for her father.
Yeah.
He was killed. And so Layla does ask Mark, when Mark has control of the body. I believe he's got control, right?
That's
sure.
Okay.
I kept they changed so much, and then it gets even weirder throughout the episode. And I was trying to stay awake watching this early. So there's some things Tucker might have to refresh my memory on. But yeah, it was just, Mark saying, look, okay, yes, I didn't kill your father, but I was there. I was there when it happened.
Yeah. And
she's like, okay, so you're telling me that I'm hearing this for the very first time. I mean, so is this whole marriage? Is this out of guilt? I mean, she's questioning all this stuff now. So it makes Mark less trustworthy just because of this unfortunate situation. But it's neither the time nor place to talk about it, because they're trying to find the tomb of Amit. Arthur Harrow's on the trail. All these things are going on. So it really does start to see the stakes are increasing with this episode. And so obviously this is episode 4 of 6. So we've got 2 more episodes, but it just keeps getting more intense. It just gets more interesting. It definitely got more weird.
Do you think Ahmed will get released?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think so.
I think he will. I think it's going to be kind of like a same movie trope things. It'll be like Ghostbusters Afterlife or whatever. It's always the main evil spirit or soul gets released.
It's like it's been built up this whole time. You kind of hope to see them get him released just to see the big bad.
I think so. But yeah, I mean, what Tucker? I mean, what else did you have to? What else? Because we're kind of like in the middle of the episode. I mean, what else did you pick up on or see?
Well, based on Alexander the Great, it's a life lesson. You never want to put an object in your mouth, actually swallow it, and choke on it, because there he is. He's got his little statue stuck in his mouth. But no, that was a great. It also kind of reminds you of National Treasure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Such a classic movie. But no, that was really great. It all kind of built up to, when Layla confronts Steven and then Mark takes over and then Arthur and his crew gathers. I think Layla has the statue, hides, and then, Mark's not going to, he's not going to give in to Arthur. So, Arthur ends up shooting him twice, and he falls and falls and falls. And that, I wonder, so there's before, I get to like him falling, he mentioned how whenever the attack happened with his mercenary teammate or whatever, like his buddy turned because he said he got greedy. And so some sort of treasure or something was there. He gets greedy. Mark ends up getting shot, get shot too. And he said, I should have died then. Now, this might be a spoiler, but we're talking spoilers. I remember this last episode that you and I did when we were doing a bunch of deep spoiler talk. It talks about how in the comics that was the moment when he became Moon Knight. So I wonder if we're going to learn more of that history of when did Khonshu help Mark? Was it in that moment when he should have died, but Khonshu like helped him and he became the Moon Knight maybe? And we know that he's going to come back. I mean, it's, he is the star of the show. So it makes me wonder, like, Khonshu is dead, but since Mark, Steven, and I do think there's a hint. Is it Jonathan Lockley? Is that his name?
Talk about Jake Lockley.
Jake Lockley.
Yeah.
There was a hint of him, I think, whenever we're going to talk about it. I'll save that, but I think there was a hint teased of him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I think that might have been the moment when he became Moon Knight, as well as, and so I just think there's going to be some sort of resurrection, some sort of saving of Mark and Steven. I don't know how, but that's what happened. But what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I like, because I was actually looking up some comparisons of what we're going to get to with the insane asylum or the I keep wanting to call it the Arkham Asylum, but I'm like, that's the wrong universe.
Wrong universe.
So I watched the Batman again on HBO Max. So it's now.
Is it up? It is.
It is up. Yeah, on HBO Max. So I watched it. I didn't tell this, but I watched it last night, or didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched.
Yeah.
I kind of skipped through, watched certain parts, but so I think it's a saving grace kind of moment. I think Mark has with Khonshu, and Khonshu saves Mark at the time of his demise or his physical death. Right? We talked a lot about all this kind of religious illusion and all these things.
We interrupt this travel for an important announcement. We hope you are enjoying your flight as we adventure into the multiverse. We want to take a moment to say thank you for joining us and to share that if you too would like to become a traveler, we are officially on Patreon. It's an easy way to not only support this platform, but also receive special rewards from us, such as a personal shout out, a private group discussing the latest movies, and even a special edition poster. With the biggest gratitude, We can't thank you enough for all of the kindness and support each of you have shown us already as we continue to create weekly podcasts, videos, and shirts about superheroes and our faith. Now, let's get back to our interdimensional travel.
So I was kind of doing a little bit of research here on the side. So Asylums in the Moon Knight comics. So now we're going to get into the Asylum. So this is what we've been kind of, unless I might be skipping over something, Tucker can backtrack here. But I think this is probably going to be the most talked about for the next week is the Asylum scene, right? So Mark gets shot, like Tucker says, and then he's falling, and then he wakes up in this insane asylum. It's all white. They're playing bingo, which, by the way, Marvel and their social media marketing, they kept promoting this bingo card. Like they would do images before the episode was released. People were like, why? And the caption said B22, and it showed a bingo card. And so all of us were like, what's that? What's Marvel doing? Like, this is like right before the release of the episode. This obviously has to, and it was official art. It wasn't like a fan made or whatever that is. This was actual legitimate art on Marvel's page in Disney Plus, I believe, that they had this bingo card. And so then the caption said B22. So then immediately we wake up, but Mark wakes up in this insane asylum, and they're shouting B22. It's a bingo game. That's it. Yeah, that's it right there. So they were promoting that. I don't know if, for our viewers, Tucker was showing the social media graphic, but they were promoting that before the release of the episode this morning. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do that again with episode 5. Give a little tidbit. We can speculate, but basically we get all this. We have this whole scene. It probably is about a good 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 12 minutes of this insane asylum that we're learning about. So the asylums in the Moon Knight comics, I'm reading here on one of these articles, there are 2 asylums that have played a part in Mark Spector's story in the past. First, there is the Putnam Psychiatric Hospital, where Mark witnessed a man get murdered, and that trauma played a major part in Mark developing his dissociative identity disorder, DID, as it says. And then there's one run of the Moon Knight series where Mark, Stephen, and Jake. So we have the 3. You mentioned Jake Lockley, the 3 different personas of Moon Knight, all find themselves in an insane asylum where they have no powers, but instead they have medical records that explain their history with mental illness. So, but this one's an illusion where Mark thinks that he made up his life as Khonshu's avatar or Khonshu's chosen person. So that's kind of interesting. So that's a little tidbit there. I haven't looked too much into that. But so we know just from this article that it's pretty prevalent that the insane asylum is definitely carried over from the comics. And at least within the TV show, we don't know what it's called. We don't know how it plays into effect at all. But I think it could be an illusion, because I think the biggest giveaway for the illusion, obviously, is or a couple things. One thing I know for sure, Arthur Harrow is he's the psychiatrist, right? He's the guy just trying to break down Mark's mind and kind of be there as a guiding light, psychologically speaking. But we all know we know his true intentions. We know all that. Right. So obviously, right off the bat, we have Arthur Harrow trying to look like he's such a great guy, trying to help Mark with his, this whole identity crisis and mental illness. So I just think it was such an interesting scene. It was something that it completely changed the tone of the episode. And it was just, I think it's probably just going to be talked about so much the next week.
Yeah.
Of what's going to happen. But I mean, what'd you think? I don't know. There you said there was something about Jake Lockley. You said that you caught.
Yeah. So like whenever Mark's running, he goes in that room. There's a tomb, and it's someone's inside of it. He opens it. There comes Steven. Well, then they start running again, and they don't ever go to it, but there's another tomb, and somebody's inside of it, and I'm just like, it's got to be Jake, like,
Yeah.
Because in this past episode, it's like we kind of got a hint of it, and because they both said that wasn't me, and so there has to be a third one, which I'm still so curious how one person is these three different personalities.
Yeah.
But if this is an asylum and this is all in his head, and how he created it, maybe this is how it all, like, he's seeing pieces of like maybe Layla, like how he met Layla. I don't know, I don't know how we met. I don't know how, if they've explained it, but she was taking care of him. At first I thought this was a flashback to maybe after his mercenary event. Like that was my first idea. But my first thought was like, why are we seeing a 4:3 screen of an old like old TV show?
Oh, yeah.
And the Tomb Buster show.
Oh, yeah. Tomb Buster.
And he's like, I'm Dr. Steven Grant. So it's like, okay, like, is he just piecing together all of these different things? And that's how it maybe because in one episode he told Layla, how have you dealt with this? He's like, well, I've handled it pretty well before, but now like it's gotten, how he's handling Steven's gotten worse. Like Steven takes over. So we're learning more about mental, I don't know if you call it mental illness, but just, something like he said, he's unwell in this past episode.
Yeah.
Well, 2 episodes ago, not this one, but the last one, he's unwell. And so all of the different pieces throughout this vision, even the guy that I think one of the dude with the white beard, orange beard, I think he was the guy that got put on the table.
That's a great observation, because I think I thought that too. I was like, they look fit.
Yeah,
seems familiar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's a really good observation. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But no, dude.
Yeah, it's Tomb Buster. Look that up.
Tomb Buster.
Is Tomb Buster a real movie? Yeah. If you're hoping to track down a copy of Tomb Buster, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. It's not a real movie. But it's what they're talking about. It's like Indiana Jones-esque. It's inspired. It's all those things. So, but then the hero of the movie, his name's Dr. Steven Grant. So it's like, obviously people are watching this Tomb Buster VHS on a 4:3 ratio, right? 4:3 ratio. So it's like, I don't know if that has any relevance. I kind of want to look more into that. Because you have Mark, but then Steven Grant. I mean, could that be some correlation where it's like this identity crisis? You have this Dr. Steven Grant in this made up movie who's super knowledgeable about archaeology. Mark Spector's not. And then he develops different personalities. I mean, there's just a lot going on, but
trying to think about how it all works. Like if Mark, like his true self is Mark, and then, during the divorce, somehow maybe he has a mental breakdown and Steven unleashes, he goes and finds his own place, and Steven's, in his head, it's Steven is taken over, and then he gets a job at the museum. Maybe that's like Mark and then Steven, but then it's like, what about Jake Lockley? Like, where is that playing in? And then this is all speculation, but what did you think of that final moment in this episode?
So here we go. So Steven Grant is trying, it's actually Mark, but we do see Steven again. So this is interesting too. So Mark Spector's trying to break out of the asylum. He's trying to get out of there. he comes across these rooms that have these tombs. Each of the rooms has these tombs. He goes into one, and it opens up, and it's Mark Spector. Looks like him, but he's wearing different colors. So Mark Spector's in white, and then it's supposedly Steven, Oscar Isaac's body, in different. I believe it was like a navy blue color or something, dark colored scrubs or not scrubs, but like clothes. So they actually it's kind of a neat moment. They both meet each other as each other, if that makes sense. It's like Oscar Isaac mirroring Oscar Isaac, the actor, right? And so we finally see the two as two different individuals. So then they're like, all right, we gotta get out of here. Mark's like, come on, Steven, we gotta get out of here. We gotta figure out what's going on. So then I think that's where you're talking about, like, where there's like an Easter egg, probably to Jake Lockley, like the different rooms with the different tombs, possibly different personalities. And then I know what you're alluding to. So it's towards the end of the episode. Marvel's got to leave us on something, a little tidbit for the next episode. And I cannot wait for the memes to drop for this.
Oh, man.
And trust me, I'm going to be jumping on the meme train, y'all. Y'all been seeing, if y'all keep up with social media, Thor, Love, and Thunder. I've been trying to keep up with those those memes. Tucker and I have. So same thing here. We see the reveal of what is known as the character of, I just had her name, but I just had it. Basically, we see Mark and Steven are trying to escape this asylum. They come to this door. These doors open, and there is a hippo, a talking hippo standing there. Obviously, this like Egyptian garb. So there's obviously it looks like an Egyptian goddess, right? She's wearing this goddess apparel, but it's a hippo. and then she just says, "Hi." And they both scream. They're just like, ah.
Oh, dude, I know what our the spoilers for that context is going to be. It's going to be a picture of hungry hippo.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, we got to jump on that.
We got to jump on it.
But so anyway, so that's what we've been alluding to. This is just the shocking moment, right? Because they again, all of our sources, our fellow YouTubers, all these people that have already seen Moon Knight through, some of them get to see the episodes early. They kept saying there is a shocking moment in episode 4. And so we're watching through this episode, and not that the episode was bad, but there wasn't anything super shocking to me up until this very last moment. And it's like, that's typical Marvel fashion, to leave us on this cliffhanger of like, who is this hippo, right? For those of us who've not, indulged too much the Moon Knight comics, the even the casual people, they're like, hungry hippo, what is going on here? Like, man. So anyway, I've done a little bit, just a Google search, right, of hippo goddess, Moon Knight episode 4. And so who is this goddess? So obviously episode 5, I'm sure she's going to be playing somewhat of a role in and we would say it's she because she obviously sounds like a girl when she talks. So but she'll be playing a role, I'm pretty sure, in the next episode. And maybe she helps, maybe she clarifies something. She might be used as a plot device to help Mark and Steven escape the asylum. We don't know. So this will be interesting. And maybe she plays a part in helping Khonshu get released, and Khonshu being able to give power back to Mark and Steven so Moon Knight can save the day. We don't know. But I was looking, the bombshell dropped at the very end of the episode. Tawret, the ancient Egyptian childbirth and fertility goddess appears in front of Mark and Stephen. So Tawret, I believe is how you say it. So the Egyptian gods had they each were known for something specific. The Egyptian god of the sun, or the Egyptian god of war, the Egyptian god of this.
Yeah.
So we meet Tawret, the hungry hippo, in this episode, who is known, apparently, according to this source, I'll go based off this source, the Egyptian goddess of childbirth and fertility.
Interesting.
So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I remember writing I was in college, one of my undergrad classes was world religion. And I probably should have paid better attention in that class, but there were a lot of aspects that I actually did my final research paper in that class over the Egyptian mythology, the Egyptian religion. And so I remember talking about obviously Osiris and Horus and Isis. And I do remember mentioning, I think, Tawret, the Egyptian goddess of childbirth and fertility. So that's pretty interesting that we're going to see the MCU take a crack at, right? So we've seen Khonshu already, and we've seen some of the other gods, and the trial court scene, episode 3.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing Hungry Hippo, or I was thinking of Gloria from Madagascar, the Madagascar movies.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's good too.
Or the hippo from TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Was it a hippo? Yeah, it was a hippo and a rhino, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like they're too villainous.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I think it's a rhino, not a hippo. What was I thinking, Tucker?
I don't know.
It's 4 a.m. That's what I'm thinking. But but man, yeah, I've been ranting. But man, Tucker, what do you got to say about this reveal? Like, what do you think's how's it gonna play out?
I have no idea. My prediction is somehow he's gonna resurrect, and he's gonna find Layla. Maybe Layla's captured. I think Ahmed's gonna get released. We're definitely going to see Moon Knight come back somehow. Maybe not. I don't know. But they did in the very beginning of the episode, before the intro titles played, we saw where one of the gods placed Khonshu, his statue, amongst a bunch of other ones. So it kind of makes you wonder, are other ones going to get released? But overall, I cannot wait to see. We have 2 episodes left. Yeah, 2 episodes left, and that's a lot of story that could happen. And so I'm excited, especially like whatever happens in this next episode is going to definitely build up to that big climactic episode of how it all is going to play out in the final episode. So it's always really cool when you're in a show or a movie and a lot of really big things have happened so far. It could either mean like 2 things. Like, one, it's just going to bomb the rest of it, or it's even going to get better. And so I think we're on that part where we have some really cool stuff that's going to happen, especially with Hungry Hippo coming. But that's really all I got to share of this episode. It was a great, weird, dark, interesting, strange episode.
Yeah. There's also I've been seeing some interviews with Ethan Hawke, the actor who plays Arthur Harrow. And so how they always ask actors in their interviews, what's to come, what can we expect, who's going to show up. It's rumored, right? Everyone goes back to the idea. It's rumored that Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, Hulk, is going to appear in this show.
Whoa.
We have yet to see that. We've got 2 more episodes. Anything could happen. If you guys have seen some of the other Disney Plus shows, specifically Hawkeye, there's some surprises there.
Yeah,
I won't say, if you haven't seen the show, we won't spoil it in this spoiler discussion, but
there is some surprises.
So the MCU definitely has some tricks up its sleeve in pertaining to good surprises, connections, all those things. But this whole Mark Ruffalo Hulk showing up in Moon Knight, it's been like one of the biggest, like, oh, it's going to happen. Tucker, do you think it's going to happen? I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, well, he would know a lot of. I just don't. I'm sure they could do it, and it'll be
Yeah.
amazing. I don't know how it's going to play out. But I'd love to see Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
But
I mean, why not? So that was a little tidbit. I mean, what do you guys think? You listening to the episode, watching it, what do you think? You think Mark Ruffalo is going to show up episode 5 or 6, like some reports are saying? Because again, we like to take things with a grain of salt,
yeah,
right? And a lot of rumors we've heard from people on past Marvel movies, a lot of them did not happen, but a good number of them did. So it's almost like 50-50, like never know. So, but we thank y'all for tuning in, listening to this spoiler discussion. We are, it's 4:05 in the multiverse. And so, but we love doing this. We love doing our reaction. We're both excited for the future of Moon Knight, also the future of the MCU. We've got some really cool, we got some great episodes coming out for our regular podcast season 1. And maybe one coming out soon pertaining to the Multiverse of Madness, which I'm really excited about. I got my Thursday night ticket. I'm going. I'm going. And y'all will get a reaction. Don't worry. You're going to get an out of the theater reaction. I know Tucker's going to see it when he can. And it's just going to be, it's going to be great, y'all. And so we got some exciting things coming up. I'm going to talk with Tucker on the side. I know we've got some, I've got some ideas too for some episodes. We've got some guests that are going to be scheduled soon to come on. Been talking with a couple people. Some people have reached out. So, and I know what they're reaching out about. I'm not that oblivious, but no, we've got some great things ahead. If you guys are not following us on social media, we definitely encourage you to do so. Follow us on Facebook, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. You can follow us now on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then our podcast episodes and reactions always on Spotify. It's on Anchor, now on Apple Podcasts. That's a new development for the past week.
Yeah,
we're now on Apple Podcasts thanks to Tucker. So that's awesome.
But Christian, if it gets chilly out there, so you can go get you a traveler shirt. We got different variants. That's one of the first original.
My favorites. I love it. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's a moonlight. I think it's what it's called. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And we're gonna have to think of an idea of how to bring a Moon Knight traveler shirt into. I got an idea in my head.
Yeah.
But we got different shirts about Spider-Man, Batman, about being a traveler. We got some funny ones. One, I will tease a few real quick. Christian came up with some hilarious ones, like, what was it? Don't mind me. I'm just traveling the multiverse.
Yeah, something like that, or even a keep calm and travel the multiverse.
That's what it is. Keep calm and travel.
That trend that went on to keep calm and then insert whatever. Yeah. So,
but we got some fun ones coming, and they actually the store just dropped the ability to make hats. I saw this update, so it's very possible we could have a traveler hat. I'm definitely going to throw it up there just to see what happens. I'm curious. I love hats. If you know me, I always buy hats, get custom made hats.
Tucker not wearing a hat's more surprising than Tucker wearing a hat. I rarely see you without a hat. So
that is true.
But also some stickers, I think, some other merchandise. I know we've kind of been toying around with that idea. So we got some great things coming. And we definitely appreciate you all sticking with us. We've even received some encouragement the past week, and we love what we do. We want to make sure that we provide quality content, but also staying family friendly, and Christ centered, and that way we can enjoy what we do, but also make it enjoyable for everyone else as well. So we love what we do. But on that note, Tucker, it's almost 4:15 in the morning in the morning verse, and then we have to travel to the full-time work verse, and gotta get stuff done there. But any closing remarks for the viewers? Anything else that I'm missing? Any housekeeping items?
No, if you do see a talking hippos, you might want to go see somebody. I'm just kidding. No, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Like we always say, we always like to travel on here, but in this universe, as we talk about Moon Knight, there's two fancy words that Christian. What are those two words?
Moon Knight episode 1 callback. It's almost been a month, but 2 words. Later, Gators.
Welcome back to your universe. Thank you for tuning into today's special episode. Until next time, travelers,